Hi, I'm back with another video just for you. Beer review time. This time well, wait a minute, before that, I'm also going to throw in two other things with this little video. Same length of video, but 3 in 1. Sorry, Lily Singh. That's Lily's. I don't know what she'd be doing. This means like Wonder Woman or Superwoman or some shit. No, 3 things in this video. 1, a beer review. 2, a review of the Blu-ray DVD of The Dark Tower. And 3, the video review of the Blu-ray DVD of, what was the other one? War for the Planet of the Apes. So, here we go. That smile was just for you, by the way. Listen. No, don't listen. It is Goose Island Beer Company's Juicy Double India Pale Ale Brewhouse Series. I'm just now learning that Goose Island is a product of Chicago, Illinois. That's news to me. I did not know that. This shit is 8.3%. A fresh take on IPA, Juicy Double, a crisp and citrusy double India Pale Ale, brewed with orange juice and generously hopped. Yeah, I don't know anything about this one. This is my first time seeing it. I love this packaging. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn it to this side, but the label, like this part here, is like shiny and shit. This is like a really nice, fancy ass thing. Anyway. 6-pack carrier. How much did this shit cost? I think it was 15 bucks. Like I said, 8.3%. Here's the bottle itself. Here's something that you might not know that I learned a long time ago. You see how this bottle is brown colored? I used to drink a lot of Budweiser and Miller and shit like that, like when I was in the military, and Corona and shit like that. One time, after work, like me and all my buddies who I worked with, our routine was we worked at night from whatever, and we got off at like 7, 8 in the morning. Whenever we got off, we would go down to the gas station. This was in California. The gas station was called Circle K. They sold beer there. We used to buy every single day after work at 8 o'clock in the morning a 30-pack of Bud Light, Miller, whatever, piss water that I would never drink now, beer. And when we bought the beer, we would head back to the dorms and proceed to drink until either the sun was high in the sky and it was hot as hell. And we would, looking back on it, it's some shit I could never do now. Like, we would drink ourselves drunk and hungover, and we'd be finished drinking in the heat of the day, like in the middle of the summer, California fucking heat. Like, that's when we would be laying it down to go to sleep, just sweaty and just drunk and miserable. I would never do that now, but your 20s, you do shit like that. Anyway, back to the story. The reason I'm talking about that. This bottle is brown, okay? I learned back then why a lot of beer companies go with different, like, darker colored bottles. And I didn't know back then. The reason I figured it out and found out was because on one of those days when we went after work in the morning and got a 30-pack of, it was MGD, I believe. Yeah, I'm 100% sure it was MGD, Miller Genuine Draft, MGD. Bottles. This shit was skunky as hell. Like, the entire 6-pack was terrible, like undrinkable. Like, disgusting. And we went back to the place. We didn't know, none of us had any experience with skunky beer or knew what that meant, even had never heard of it, or such a thing. We just thought, like, oh, we got a bad batch of beer. So we went back and bought another 30-pack. There might have even been a 36-pack. Like, they had weird packs back then. But we got another one. Came back to the dorms, cracked it open. It was disgusting. Went back and got a third, I believe, skunky fucking 30-pack of MGD. And I've never drunk MGD since. Anyway, I was telling that story to somebody about it, and they were like, oh yeah, they use clear bottles. That's why you're supposed to use darker tinted bottles. And I was like, what are you talking about? They said those bottles probably got hit by sunlight. And I was like, what are you talking about? Turns out beer, along with a lot of other food products, has a reaction to sunlight. So if you have clear bottles of beer and you set them out on your porch and the sun beams into them, it'll change the taste completely. Like it reacts with the yeast and shit, and that's where you get skunky beer from. So I could be wrong, but this is what I was told, and it makes perfect sense. Anyway, and I used to not like darker colored bottles. That's why I brought that up. But now these days, I appreciate there's actually craftsmanship in the bottles and shit. And I know why the bottles come darker, and that's pretty cool to me. The more you know. We have figured out shit over time. Like, you imagine how long it took to even invent beer. If you were just sitting there and you had everything you needed to make beer, but you didn't know it, how long do you think it would take you to mix some shit around and come up with a delicious, tasty IPA? You think you'd ever do it in your entire life? You think your kids would do it? You think their kids would do it? Shit takes time. Anyway, back to this beer. Barely a smell there. Let's get it in the glass and see what it smells like. Alright, this has that, well, I'm wearing sunglasses, so the color of the beer is subject to change in my view. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Damn, that's really pretty with these sunglasses on anyway. Hopefully you guys can see it in the GoPro footage here. The other angle, we'll call that angle 2. Now I'm starting to smell it. Look at that. That looks pretty delicious, doesn't it? Wow. Yeah, it looks hearty. Okay, what do we got? Just about an inch head. It's pretty. It's really pretty. Carbonation. Oh, wow. Perfect amount of carbonation. But not much of a smell. Not much of a smell at all. It's just, I mean, it doesn't smell bad or anything. It's just not much to talk about. So anyway, let me take a sip. That's pretty damn delicious. Yes. Okay. Wow, I really dig the way that this looks in a glass. That is like one of the prettiest looking beers in a glass I've had that I actually paid attention to. That is really pretty. Taste. It's got a decent amount of IBUs. Let me see, does this say on here? I'd have to look that up on Beer Advocate or something. Oh no, here it is. 70 IBUs. Yeah, I can taste it. It's pretty, got a pretty bitterness, which I love. Up to a point. There's a point where it gets to be like too much. This is right on the money for citrusiness. Let me get another one. Really good. What this tastes like is that's really good. Oh, that's really good. Yes. Okay, what this tastes like is an IPA. This tastes like a hearty, well-filtered, crafted. Damn, I'm getting like excited. Like, I can't wait to just drink like 4 of these. I just want to get into it. Anyway, yeah. And how you like my glass? I just picked up these fancy craft beer glasses today. I like them. I'm gonna get some custom ones made for the channel if I ever get any subscribers, and give them out for giveaways and shit like that. Like maybe for my 100th subscriber if I ever get there, or 1,000th, or I don't know, whatever. But with my little logo. But I think aesthetics mean a lot, and especially when it comes to food and consumables and shit, and cars and motorcycles and women or whatever. Yeah, that looks pretty. That looks very pretty to me, and it tastes It tastes good. Okay, yeah, I taste the orange is coming through now. Wow, it's complicated. It's not complicated, but it's the orange just now revealed itself to me. So it's like as you drink through it, there's layers is what I'm getting at. I am a fan of this beer, and I will be buying it again. Yeah. So anyway, yes, Goose Island, Juicy Double, Brewhouse Series. Excellent. I'm gonna give it a excellent. That's what I'll say. I'll say, yeah, get you some. Have this with dinner, a movie. Oh wow, that's good. Absolutely, yes. I'm not gonna. It's 8.3 though. Be warned, because I'm tempted to just slug this. But you gotta watch that shit. These IPAs, they'll have you crash your car or something, man. Anyway, quickly, these two movies. War for the Planet of the Apes. Let's talk about this one first real quick. If you don't know, first of all, if you haven't seen the other more recent Planet of the Apes movies, you shouldn't go see this one because you'd really be lost going into it. Like, it just starts out and you have these apes that can talk. And you'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? What, huh? Secondly, I'll say, I rented it from the Redbox on Blu-ray DVD. I watched it on my 4K Samsung with HDR. It looks fantastic. Hold on, but with a caveat. Wait a minute. Okay, so the movie is visually beautiful and excellent, but you got to realize this movie takes place in a dreary, like, post-apocalyptic rainforest. So there's nothing to look at other than the glistening rain on the leaves of the trees and the mud. Like, it's the most beautiful mud you've ever seen in your life. Very, very pretty, but bleak and depressing. It's an end of the world basically scenario movie. So it's what it feels like, and the visuals play to that perfectly. Before I get to the synopsis, let me say, the synopsis. Basically you have Caesar. Caesar's the leader of the monkeys who are intelligent now, can speak and read and write and shoot guns and shit. And, well, maybe not write, but I know they can speak and probably read and, like, probably drive cars and shoot guns, and, you know, they're basically turning into people because of the shit that happened in the previous movies, which you need to go see before you go see this, if you're gonna go see this. You have him over here. On this side, the opposing side, you have Woody Harrelson, who is like your wacky uncle who, not your Uncle Collin. Your Uncle Collin's cool and does beer reviews. No, your goofy alcoholic. Or fuck, I guess. Let's say your goofy neighbor. Let's take uncle out of it. Like your goofy neighbor who was never in the military, but likes to dress up in fatigues and put face paint on anyway, and like walk around all sneaky and shit and freak out the kids in the neighborhood. That's what Woody Harrelson plays. He's pretending to be some elite forces dude. I don't know. I can't even hold. Okay, wait a minute. So, look, listen. I was excited for this movie. I wanted to see it since it came out in the movie theaters last year or earlier this year, or whatever it was. I missed it for whatever reason. I didn't have time or whatever. I heard it was good. I watched it just now, and I'm gonna say the only good part of it to me was the CGI effects, which were insane. And I don't know if it's CGI or if it's like traditional makeup and shit, but those apes look, you can't tell that they're not real. Like, I don't know if that's a person wearing a costume and makeup and shit, or if it's computer generated. I cannot tell. It is insanely realistic. And I mean, you just believe it. You're just like, oh wow, they can talk, and you don't even think about it anymore. And they're just talking apes. And that's it. And I mean, and so that part of it is, to me, excellent. Other than that, I did not like this movie at all. I thought the story sucked. I thought Woody Harrelson was the wrong actor to play this G.I. Joe dude. The whole time he looked like he was just about to smile. I was like, I'm gonna murder all of y'all. Like, he had like this goofiness about him. I like the guy in movies a lot, actually, but not in this one. I didn't like him. I loved him in 2012. That was the perfect part for him. Anyway, yeah, he was wrong for this, and he took me out of the movie. The story sucked. I didn't like it. It was convoluted, and it didn't really make sense if you paid attention. Or maybe I just was thinking about it too much, or I don't know. Like, the shit that Woody Harrelson said was his motivation for the things that he was doing did not make any sense, without spoiling anything. If you're gonna watch this, you watch it, hit me up in the comment box and tell me if his plan made any sense. It made no fucking sense. The story made no fucking sense. Anyway, I didn't like it. It was long as hell. Wow, it is really raining out there. The movie is so long. I mean, I don't know, it might be an hour long, but it just felt long. Like every 2 minutes they're zooming in on one of the apes' faces, and he's just like crying because his baby ape kid got his head cut off or blown off, or his wife's dead now, or whatever. And they just like zoom in on his face, and it's just like, ape just want to live. I don't know, whatever it was. I was bored as shit, and I wanted to go home, or I was home. I wanted to turn it off. I just didn't want to be there anymore. I was bored as hell in this movie. It sucks. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's really, really pretty, and I think it got great reviews. I know my buddy went to see it and he said he loved it. I can't say the same. I seriously didn't enjoy the movie at all. The other movie, hold on. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I will say the aftertaste lingers a little too long with the sour notes. But I just got like a sweet, almost tangerine taste right there. It tastes juicy. It tastes juicy, absolutely. Your mouth is like more wet after drinking it, which sounds like it doesn't make sense. But whatever, it is. My mouth is nice and hydrated, baby. All right, the other movie I want to talk about was The Dark Tower. I tried to read the book, The Dark Tower, several times and couldn't get through it. I don't know how far into it I got, but not that far. That book is like Stephen King's, it's a series of books. It's the Dark Tower series. I tried to read The Gunslinger, which this movie is basically kind of based on. I tried to read it several times and could not do it. It's one of 2 books by Stephen King, which I just couldn't get through. The other one was The Stand. Excuse me, don't get me wrong. I like Stephen King's books, but for some reason, these ones, they just don't do nothing for me. Like my mind is just like, nah, not interested. Same thing with this movie. Synopsis of this movie: Matthew McConaughey, what is his name? Matthew McConaughey, that dude. He is basically the devil, and he's trying to open up a portal so that all of hell can basically come onto Earth. That's not exactly right. Like, basically you have this tower in the middle, and all around it is like the world, and then on the outside of that is like darkness, which is full of monsters. The tower like sends out beams or whatever, or force field or some shit that holds back all the monsters in the darkness from coming in and just causing shit. And Matthew McConaughey is trying to break down the tower so that all the evil shit can come in and just destroy everything. Idris Elba is what they call a gunslinger. He's the last one of his kind, and they basically fight Matthew McConaughey and defend the tower so that evil doesn't take over everything. What else? The trailer for this movie looked amazing, but like I said, like I already kind of knew the story, and I was just like, I don't really care about this, as like the story kind of sucks to me. And it sucks too, because this is like Stephen King's masterpiece. Like a bunch of his books all come together. Like there are like The Shining, that has something to do with this. The Shine, I'm not going to spoil it, but the Shining, shine is a thing that means something in Stephen King's universe. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't care. I don't know. I just wasn't into it at all. It was like weak. The story is weak to me. The movie itself, you can see all of the better parts of the movie in the trailer. All the fighting shit with Idris Elba, when him doing his fancy shit with his guns, that shit looks awesome. I will say that. There are a couple fight scenes between him and whoever where he's running them guns, and I mean he's running them guns, and it looks fantastic. Other than that, there's like some young dude, there's a kid, there's like monsters with like underneath people's skin and their faces are like coming off, and they don't even really explain that. And Matthew McConaughey has like powers to like just kill people by looking at them or make them do whatever he wants. And this kid in the movie has the shine, and he has the power to protect the fucking tower. But I'm sorry, it's not that good of a story. I don't like it. The movie blows on top of it. Unlike this beer, Goose Island Juicy Double IPA, 8.3%, 7 IBUs. Pick some up today. I'm gonna wrap this up. I did not like either of those movies. Not either of them. And I had been kind of excited at one point or another to see both of them. Hugely disappointed. Idris Elba's character was corny. Okay, so put it this way. He's a gunslinger, okay? Which means he's a sworn defender of the universe or whatever against evil. His dad was also a sworn defender of the universe against evil. They are warrior soldiers, okay? All of their kind were warrior soldiers. Just like any warrior soldiers, an army, navy, whatever. And all the rest of their soldier brethren all got killed in war. So, I mean, that's what happens in war. People, get smoked. And you hope it don't happen, but it happens. Anyway, what I'm getting at is Idris Elba's character. Idris Elba. Idris Elba. His character, the gunslinger, was like all emo because his dad got killed in the war. And he just quit. He's like, oh, I don't want to be a gunslinger no more. They killed my dad. I just want to get the motherfucker who killed my dad. Fuck the universe. I don't care if it's all over. I'm like, what? It was dumb. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, so those are my 2 reviews for those 2 movies. And my taste testing of this beer. You see it's almost gone. That means it's good. I like this a lot. But you know what though? Now this is really good, but I'm gonna say that what was the last one that I reviewed? Fathead's Hopstalker. I think this is like okay. That was only 7%. This is 8.3. I love the meatiness of this beer, the chunkiness. It's like thicker than that other one, but. If I was gonna, and I love the way this one looks. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It's just look at the lacing. See that lacing? Lacing is pretty. Between this one and that one, you know what? I'm not gonna go there. But I'm gonna say that if I was gonna pick one or the other to buy, I'd probably buy the Hopstalker, even though it's way more expensive. It's a 4-pack, and I think it was $17. This is a 6-pack for $15, I think. And this is higher alcohol percentage, so you're gonna get more fucked up off this. Wow, look at that! It's still champagning, baby. This is good. They're both good. I don't know if I was gonna pick one. Like if I walked in the grocery store or the beer store, and there was those 2, and those are the choices. Which one would I buy? I buy both. Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the like. Please, most importantly, hit the share button. And then after that, hit the bell button to make sure that you get notified of all my future videos as they are dropped on YouTube, baby. Hey, I love you the most. Stay tactical. Thanks for watching. Until next time. That's some good beer. Bye.
La 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 la